The next morning, falling temperatures have brought a thick frost to the Fraser Valley.
Feels like the same dragging on dream as yesterday.
Al Quiring is back to take on the second stage of a mammoth recovery.
There is no schedule, so we'll make that clear.
Rescue the last of 2 excavators trapped in a peat bog.
There's one thing about that peat. It will sink you.
The 70,000-pound machine has been nearly swallowed up.
It's not just gonna hop out of there on its own.
The crew has been pumping out water for hours to expose the digger.
Right over the side there.
So, like yesterday, as he did on the first excavator,
There it is.
Al can wrap heavy cables around its base and tow it out of the bog.
We were barely able to bust that out of there. There's no such thing as a little bit stuck in the peat bog.
But today, Al might already be sunk.
The second machine is packed into the peat bog, and I'm unable to get the cables around it.
Water is rising faster than can be pumped out.
You're in a swampy situation, water coming from all directions. I want to get the job completed.
Even the big bucket from another excavator is no match for the bog.
Just keep bailing.
The water in the mud, it keeps building up. It's flowing back in as fast as he's trying to take it out.
It's like a vicious circle.
After 2 hours of bailing,
We're gonna go and dig out the boom mast and see what that looks like.
Al needs a new game plan to rescue the last excavator.
The big problem is we can't get anywhere to hook onto it. It's all submerged completely.
I think we'll grab her right by the turret here, Len. It's not my favorite spot to pull, but it's gonna have to do.
You're thinking of hooking the line around the...
Right at the bottom of the mast. I'll put that big grade 10 3/4 chain.
Al will take a chance and yank the excavator out by its giant arm.
The excavator boom itself, which in my opinion is not the best spot to grab it, but it was the only spot to grab it.
It'd be nice if we knew where the front of the tracks were.
Al? That's the tracks right there.
The chain wrapped around the excavator's boom will be rigged to the triple hook and harnessed to Al's 3 bulldozers for the big pull.
Frederick, back your sweetheart in. We can assemble that piece.
The custom-built triple hook and its shackles weigh more than 300 pounds.
That piece is engineered for 125-ton capacity. We're good for hooking with 3 D9s and pulling as hard as we can.
But pulling hard on the boom is a big gamble.
So it's gonna be a hard one on this.
I was unable to get the cables around it, so the only thing left was to hook onto the top.
Right here. It'll come out. As long as the chain don't break.
Down to the wire, Al fires up his D9s.
And that's when the cats come in concerto and start pulling.
For one final pull before dark.
Come on, pull on her.
Turning fresh air into a diesel smell. It's like cool. It looked like at first the machine was going to lay on its side and come right out. but it just came in and bound itself up, and then pow!
Al's heavy-duty chain was no match for the bog.
Chain.
That's a big chain. Snapped like it was a tin can. It's amazing. Definitely a hindrance.
The second excavator
We might not get it out today.
No, we're not getting it out today.
will have to spend another night in the grip of the peat bog. And Al will have to wait another day to conquer his toughest job yet.
Kind of disgusted and disappointed that it didn't come out.
We found the weakest link.
Battered, bruised, and even bloody, Al's not giving up.
We'll just get some bigger and put on there.
As I've gone down this trail of heavy recovery, each job brings its own challenges.
So that's that today.
Come back tomorrow with fresh thinking. I'm hopeful.
I've had that chain a long time. I gotta go home and cry.
When it comes to L quiring.
Broken everything.
There's always a question in the back of your mind. If you're gonna take the job on, are you gonna be able to see it through?
Heartache road. There ain't nothing but misery and agony down there. You've had a run-in today yet, or no?
Not today.
Okay.
The early spring thaw has swollen the river into the excavation site.
Springtime jobs are messy. The snow is melting. Just turns into a quagmire of mud.
Yesterday, the 70,000-pound excavator got stuck in that quagmire. All efforts to free it only made the problem worse.
It was in quite a deep hole where they had been digging around, and of course, you know, gravity has taken effect. It's only going to keep going deeper the more you dig around it.
What we might have to do is just get a scoop so that all that water around your tow hook hole clears away.
I would say that'd be almost bottomless there once you start agitating and working it, because you're just going to keep going down until you hit China eventually.
If you pick your boom up, will the machine tip forward a bit?
It won't even.
Won't move at all? It's probably about 70,000 pounds.
Add the friction of the mud, you could be using almost 200,000 pounds of pull to make that machine move.
It'll be close. It'll come down to what the tow truck can grab hold of.
Luckily, they had somewhat stopped while they were ahead. We were still able to get down to the tow hook.
And the crew has already started rigging with their own gear.
What size of a shackle you guys got in there? 1.1 inch? 1 inch. It should be all right.
The shackle that I happened to see looked adequate in size, and we hooked my rigging on there.
Put this in your shackle, the pin through the loop. Yeah, right into the big shackle. That hook will go onto the small ring there. Perfect.
Before Al even attempts a pull, he needs one simple but very important piece in place.
If I didn't have that big log, my outriggers would have just punched right through the mud, and I probably would have dragged myself right into the hole.
We're gonna be putting a lot of pressure on there. Something snaps, high tension leads. Take 15 steps back, because there's no such thing as a little bit dead with this, right?
Seen it happen before where rigging's gone flying up in the air and landed on equipment or people, and it's had catastrophic results.
So we're giving her some pull. That doesn't sound good.
You know, it could be, say, a 25-ton shackle, but in its lifetime, it's had forces upwards of 150 tons maybe put against it. If it didn't break, it surely could break.
Al re-rigs, and this time he's using his own equipment.
Okay, I'll go get 2 more shackles. You can come out of there, we're done in there now.
There's suction there, and of course, you know, your feet sink in. You can be up to your knee, and then you're fighting because there's nothing else to lift yourself up with, so it can turn into a hog wrestle.
Rigging his line through a snatch block will double the pulling power, but Al's not stopping there.
Flip the blocker on.
The work crew's second excavator will back him up. First, they've got to jar the excavator loose from the grip of the mud.
Because the tow truck is working, vibrating, that vibration transcends down the cable and it'll start, basically kind of shaking the machine. You might not see that harmonics.
Hell yeah. She's out of there.
We were really fortunate that we were able to recover that with the equipment we had there that day.
We had our doubts from the start. That changed once Al took control, which was amazing. That's what I really like.
It was a messy job,
Shut her down.
but Al's never worried about keeping his truck shiny, and he can't resist a jab at the competition.
Yeah, hey, Super James, we don't need you, buddy. We're okay, 10-4. Thank you, pal. Have a good day. Oh, hey, polish your chrome.
60 miles west in the Fraser Valley,
Good morning. Come back for more action?
Al Quiring's back for round 2.
Put the hook in there and give it some more lift.
A muddy off-road recovery that might be impossible, even for the king of the coke.
Not every day is a Coca-Cola towing day. Game on, right?
A 70,000-pound excavator swallowed by a peat bog has already beat Al once.
Float her up, Joe.
Today, Al's back with a new plan. Rig onto one of the excavator's tracks instead of its boom arm. And punch a hole through the thick metal.
And I had to get in there with the oxy-acetylene torch and cut me a hole.
The water in the bog is now low enough to expose the top of the tracks.
That was freezing, frigid water that's wet. It gets in your boot and then you're cranky for the rest of the day.
Come on. Trying that.
Al rigs a cable more than 2 inches thick to the new hole. Then uses a bucket to hoist a second line and rig it behind the cab. But the longer Al takes, the deeper it gets. The bog is beside one of the largest rivers in the Pacific Northwest, the Fraser, and flows to the ocean. Water in the bog rises and falls with the ocean tides.
You're in a swampy situation, so you got water coming from all directions.
Tonight, the lunar cycle is expected to trigger the highest tide in a month.
That's how high we're going to fill up, and that whole cab's going to be underwater, all the electronics.
Al's client is nervous. High water could turn his $250,000 machine into scrap.
The electrical components to run the grapple and stuff, very expensive. He wanted that out of the waters.
We're filling up with water, so we're going to try and get it up out of the water there.
Al and his oldest son, Kerry,
Come on, big boy, you can do it.
help the crew rig the excavator to 3 D9 cats using Al's custom-made triple hook.
It's all brand new rigging. Sometimes I get good ideas, and then sometimes I get humdingers.
We don't screw around with rigging. Go big or go home, or don't come out at all.
With all cables connecting through the triple hook, the dozers will pull like a team of horses to break the excavator free.
Tighten her up.
That piece is engineered for 125 ton.
And to make it easier to pull the excavator up the bank, Al's about to tilt things in his favor.
We use the excavator to tip the machine back.
Adjusting the angle to allow the tracks to slide up the bank.
We're just getting all the big cats all warmed up here now. We're gonna have three D9s pulling. We're gonna roll some coal. We're gonna rip this tractor out of here. Okay, you guys ready?
Al's D9s and their powerful winches.
Wind her up.
Get to work.
That's a 140,000 pound capacity winch.
Give her some throttle.
It'll still pull a lot more than that.
The next morning,
Big heavy thing that you can't move. Big problem. The machine's not running, the tracks are locked solid.
Al has a new idea to get things rolling.
The idea is to get to the gear, yeah.
With the tracks out of the water, Al will try to unlock them.
We're gonna have to pull the final drives out of here. And maybe we can finish the job without breaking anything else.
There's so much resistance and holding power in those tracks. Undo the bolts, pop the gear out, and then it's free rolling.
Yep.
Grab this.
Okay, my friend. There we go. Yeah. Heavy, eh?
Expensive too. Just remember that part when you're thinking heavy. Yup.
The last one, huh?
Sometimes the last one is the hard one. Right here, Glenn.
With the gears out,
She'll free roll now.
Al and his crew get ready for what they hope is the last pull.
Don't up the winch line.
There's no guarantees. That's the thing. Hopefully you're not going to keep breaking stuff.
Put her in gear, lad.
Sometimes the only hope you've got.
Just let her go. Just roll up. Give her some throttle. You're all right. Come on. Woo!
Well, I'm the Chuck Norris of towing. It's cool.
She's out of there. I told you we got her. We'll get it out to the road.
After one of the toughest jobs of his towing career, the king of the coke comes out on top.
At the end of it, we can put the stress to rest.
We're ready for the next one.
Oh, Houston, we have a problem.
The next day, in the Fraser Valley,
Anybody confirm that there's a truck wiped out?
it's a bad morning for a local trucker.
It looks like it just happened.
A loaded B train has flipped.
He's turned right over in the ditch.
The tractor is on its wheels, but both trailers lay on their side. The driver escaped injury and is still on scene.
Coming down the road, I got a text on my phone. I looked at it, put it back on the dash, and by then I was catching the ditch with my trailer.
We were about 3 blocks away, and you could hear the sliding and the bang of the truck sliding down the road.
The highway, used by hundreds of commercial vehicles every day, has been squeezed down to a single lane.
So we'll head on out there and see what we can find us.
Al Quiring is on his way with his Vulcan V100 heavy wrecker.
I don't know what it's loaded with. Half my job is not knowing what I'm going to do. So here we go.
Al arrives to find another tow truck already on site.
What a mess.
But this job
Ay, 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 ay.
could use a second set of hands.
Rolling up, kind of had an idea what happened there. He got over on the edge of the road, overcorrected, and then the trailer did a flip. Kerpow.
The two trailers were carrying more than 50 tons of volcanic rock.
It's a load of landscaping pumice, and it is quite a valuable commodity.
Yeah, you might as well stick around. I didn't call any of our other trucks.
Mission Towing's Dylan Greenwood is also on scene.
Yeah, we'll get rid of this one, and then by then Daryl will be here with the excavator and scoop that out, and then we'll flip this thing up pretty easy. This thing will be a little bit difficult to tow, that's for sure. Let's step through and see what we got.
Because that trailer is so flimsy, like a beer can, as soon as you start pulling on it, they'll just shred and rip open, and then you got even more of a mess.
Not much to grab onto in there.
Al can't flip the B train until he closes one of its dump boxes,
I'll get a chain. We'll go right through the trailer.
collapsing a hydraulic cylinder.
Hooking up to it was a bit of a pain. There was nothing much to hook to.
Yeah, just like that. Might pop off, but it might not.
Yeah, I might not like it.
But the only place to rig onto is a thin piece of metal at the base of the box.
Sometimes you have to just hook to things and hope it works.
You got to make sure that when you do energize that cable, that everybody is well back, and especially out of the line of fire. Try and tickle it and talk nice and come on baby, you know, it's gonna hopefully shut.
I didn't think that was gonna hold.
Aluminum, they think you can make it stronger.
Yeah.
The metal rim at the base of the box wasn't strong enough for the forces of the pull.
When the engineers build those trailers, they don't build them for flipping over or towing out of the ditch with tow trucks. They build them to go down the road and dump easily, and that's all.
Anything on the front of that box? Nothing?
I think it was just weak metal. Sometimes you hook to something that's questionable, and sometimes that falls apart and comes flying at you.
Anything on the front of that box?
I think I can probably get a small chain.
This time, Al will try to attach a chain directly to the top of the cylinder.
Not much to grab hold of that trailer, so unfortunately we have to use like a very small chain, not much bigger than what you would tie your dog up, to get through this tiny little hole.
Al is betting the small chain will hold just long enough to close the cylinder.
I'll try that one more time. Be careful, might break. Told you.
To flip the B train upright, Al tackles the rear trailer first, rigging a line to the top side to roll it onto its wheels.
Just like trying to eat a big dinosaur, one little bite at a time.
Come on, sweetheart.
It's a textbook touchdown.
You want us to come and scoop her up?
Dylan can haul the rear trailer out of the way.
Okay, he's all right.
Al sets his sights on the last trailer, but he needs to lighten the load.
Okay, here we go.
It's interesting to see the stuff slide down the bank. We did a beautiful landscaping job. I think the pumice is still there.
To flip the second trailer, Al must disconnect the tractor.
The tractor actually had very little damage, so we got away very, very lucky with that truck. Using the excavator, we were able to upright that trailer pretty easily. Get the road cleaned up, get it opened up.
Traffic started moving now. Good to go, man. Good to go.
Watch full episodes on the Weather Channel and the Weather Channel TV app.